Hey everybody, I'm John Hammertime Holshoe from Pop Culture Philosophers, and tonight on Monster Movie Mayhem, we're going to talk about the 1965 film Gamera. That's right, the 1965 film Gamera. If you recall, Gamera was the answer to Toho's Godzilla. Daiei, the production company, famous production company in Japan, recently they've had some financial woeings. They went bankruptcy, they got absorbed by another company, but regardless, they wanted to make a big monster film, a kaiju film. So in 1965 they gave us Gamera, who maybe not as intimidating initially as Godzilla. I mean, he's a big turtle and he just has some tusk. You know, they got the big fang things going. I think he's pretty sweet looking. So this came out in 1965. A lot of people knew who Gamera is. Maybe they associate him with a Godzilla villain. He wasn't a Godzilla villain. In fact, there's no crossover. People always think, oh yeah, he was in a Godzilla film. No, completely different company. But he has built a following. He came out in 65. There have been 12 films. Maybe not the same following as Godzilla, but in fairness, Godzilla's got 29 films. That's right, there's 29 films. And Godzilla has recent films. So I think Godzilla's kind of in the psyche more. You remember him or you think of him more often. But Gamera is still famous. Again, people see him, they call him the Godzilla turtle, whatever. People know who he is. They just don't always know who he is, if that makes sense. Like if you saw Gamera down the street, you'd recognize him. You'd shit your pants, but you'd recognize him. He's a giant turtle. So like I said, it came out in 65. First film was black and white. A bit of a budget on the film. Recently revisited, watched the Japanese version with the subtitles, which I recommend. It was re-released in the US in 66. And they cut some pieces out and add some American stuff in. Don't really recommend that. I do like the fact that the US version, which actually is in limbo right now, so I don't think you can find it because there's some rights issues and might even fall under public domain at the moment. But I don't recommend it because they cut too much out of the original. Although they did fix the crappy American acting. The original film has a section with some American troops and their acting is terrible. At least you can watch that part even with subtitles, not needing the subtitles, so that's kind of cool. But the original film, it's a classic in its own right. It's a great film. The special effects hold up surprisingly well, especially Gamera in his costume. What doesn't hold up, the only effects that really hurt the film, the vehicle shots. There's some miniatures they use for planes, miniatures they use for boats, and they look terrible. Especially the planes, occasionally you see the strings on the planes, and that kind of takes you out of the film. But the exterior shots, the Japanese actors, phenomenal. Gamera looks very scary, and he's a big monster, and he's tearing stuff down, he's raging through the city, and sometimes he's too much raging, too much he's doing this when he's running around, which I think even if you're tearing through the city, I don't think you do your arms like this, I don't care what you are. But, that being said, Gamera himself looks phenomenal. When he's on scene, he always looks good. The sets around him look great. When they overimpose like the small cities with the cars, that actually looks really good. It's just some of the small vehicle shots that they added after the fact where there's a boat or a plane. And again, they don't have any detail and they look really generic and they break away from the film. Otherwise, the special effects hold up really well. So people that bash the film, you know, given its era and given its budget, I think it looks pretty good. And again, it introduced us to Gamera for the first time. Now, this is the first film. Gamera is a bad guy, tears through the city, and they're trying to stop him. He's evil. Subsequent films, Gamera he comes out and fights bad guys. And he's not really a good guy, but he stops other bad guys who would do more damage to the city, sort of like Godzilla did. It was the monster of the week kind of thing. So, but the original Gamera, he is a bad guy, and he tears through the city. So, it's very much inspired by Godzilla because, well, that's what was popular, and the production company wanted to get on that. I think it holds up great. Check out the Blu Ray. It's available from Mills Creek. We'll link below to Amazon, because Amazon, I don't think they have the set. I think the set's out of production, but they do have the individual volumes, and I think actually that's cheaper than getting the set. And I was so excited because I actually bought the box set, and the box set, first off, they're just repackaging the individual volumes, and the box set itself is super flimsy. So if you can find the box set though, I recommend picking up because it's got awesome artwork. But that being said, you can get the volumes, the original films, and then the 90s films, which were great too, and we'll talk about that in a different episode. I recommend those as well, and those are also at Amazon. We're going to link all the Gamera stuff, so you go down there and you check it out, support Pop Culture Philosophers. Meanwhile, get your Gamera fix on, and they're all reasonably priced. Really good price. I mean, you can't get kaiju films for this price anywhere else that you can get Gamera for. Maybe because it's a smaller property or a forgotten property that you can get better deals on it. That being said, we'll link it down there. So, like I said, great film, holds up well. I recommend the Japanese subtitled version. I think that's the only one available on Blu-ray. The American one, I think like I said, the public domain, I think there's some questionality who owns the rights to that and where it's at. So I think you can get the public domain version and watch that for free if you want. But I highly recommend the Blu-ray. So that was Gamera, the giant kaiju turtle. Check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. So this has been Monster Movie Mayhem. I'm John Hammertime Holshoe, part of Pop Culture Philosophers. You can check out this video, a whole lot more, at popculturephilosophers.com. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, give it a thumbs up, and we'll check it out next time, and maybe we'll talk about some more monster movies.